All right, welcome back into the Auckland Bowls live stream as we take you into the men's peers final, centre final here. And it is Gary Lawson and Tony Grantham from the Mount Albert Bowling Club against Chris Lowe and Jordan King from Mount Eden. We've just had the first bowl into the head there from Jordan, and that was through the head, and I think it went right through the head into the ditch. It did. It went into the ditch. And joining me in commentary here, Aaron White, alongside now is Steve Fisher. And Steve, you had the task of trying to beat Gary Lawson and Tony Grantham in the quarterfinals earlier this morning. Good afternoon to you.
Hey Aaron, how you doing? Unfortunately we had the unenviable task of trying to take them down early, but they're just on fire. You know, we went pretty good, but just too much firepower there for us. And Gary never missed a trick. You know, 4 ends in, we're battling, and
it's amazing to catch a Gary Lawson on form. It's not too many days you catch him when he's not on form.
No, he's when he's in that sort of form, it's I think it's pretty tough to beat.
Yeah, and Tony Grantham with his second bowl in, doing what Tony Grantham does. Of course, this is our national peers winning team 2 of Lawson and Grantham, so looking for the Auckland Centre title here as well.
And of course they're up against former national peers winners in Chris and Jordan. So it's going to be a good battle, I think.
Be a good stoush, that's for sure. As Jordan comes in and gets a touch up. Very proud dad too today, I see.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. No, the girls went well, and
Thought Nicole led beautifully all day, and the back half of her game was brilliant in the final.
Absolutely, yeah. Semi was the same, just came home really, really strong, and makes all that practice pay off. So well done to Nicole and Rima.
And that's the key, isn't it? The practicing coming into these centre finals, and of course Nicole, she's only a 1 to 5 bowler too. What year is she in? Third year. Yeah, third year. So last 6-8 months for Nicole has been great. Watching a bit of her bowls, and just brilliant.
Yep, absolutely. No, she's going well. Pretty solid. Got a good head for it too, though. You know, pretty level-headed and keeps calm. Doesn't really worry about too much. So, once the bowl's gone, it's gone. Just moves on to the next one.
Yeah, and the trophy cabinet at home is going to have to get bigger.
Yep. Fortunately, we've been on the right side of things a few times, so it's all going good.
You have to sell the boat to buy a trophy cabinet.
I don't have time for the boat.
Yes, it takes a bit of time out of the day, does the bowls. Here's Gary Lawson with his first in the final for 2024. Of course, down the one with that touch there of Jordan's, and Gary having a little search.
Yeah, not all bad though. Just turning that bowl of Tony's over, just to moving that into I guess more of a catching position. So he got some form of result out of it.
And I was lucky enough to be here for the quarter final, watching Chris and Jordan playing Bill Fulton and Tony Garelja out of the Henderson Bowling Club, and that was a great game. Went right down to the last end, and basically the last bowl there too, and it was a good win because Bill and Tony, pretty sure they're the defending champions. Here's Lawson on the drive, and he's got something, and
a little bit stiff there, but hey, look, he got a result. He's changed it, and Chris possibly just aided him a little bit there too with his previous bowl, just sort of set up a little target.
Interesting, they might have the shot actually, Grantham and Lawson. That bowl of Grantham's behind might be the shot bowl, but here's Chris Lowe.
And Chris was in some hot form in the semi-final too. He played extremely well.
So he played the 2 juniors, which was good to see a couple of 1 to 5 juniors there. KJ Lark and Brett Christie make their way through to the semi-finals, but really no match. Jordan and Chris were well in front throughout, but good experience for the juniors. And
Absolutely, and it's it's good to see you in there battling away, giving the big boys a hurry up. So that's what it's all about.
Well, you soon find out where your game is.
Absolutely, best way to do it.
Oh yeah, and you come and take on the best of the best. And when it
in the
comes to
game, be interesting here with Gary. He might have three second shots there, maybe. There he has a look at that white ball.
Yes.
Yep, and he is.
Yeah, guaranteed he's got 3 seconds with the weight that he's used. So let's see what he was doing. Was he holding the one? No. Jordan's got the mat, gets it down pretty quickly, and he says we'll take the one. So they'll take the early lead in our 2024 men's pairs Auckland centre final. So 1 to the low king combination, bowling out of the Mount Eden Bowling Club for this season. And of course Gary and Tony from Mount Albert.
And you mentioned Chris and Jordan's semi-final against KJ and Brett. Gary and Tony were involved in a bit of a monumentous comeback. They were kind of battling in all sorts of bother for a while there. At I think about 12-2 down after about 9 ends, and in the space of
it's not
5
often,
ends,
it's not often you get a lead that outleads Tony Grantham, but Simon Gow, young junior bowler here in the Auckland district, he put up a great first part of that game and just drifted away at the end, but boy, he was playing some crackers.
Absolutely. But again, a couple of big bowls of Gary's just they got a couple of numbers and got themselves back into the game, and then of course Tony just came on strong, and 2 international players is what you'd expect there, right?
Yeah, it's always good watching Tony. The front end of these games, when he finds his line and length, he usually finds it for the rest of the game, and he's awfully hard to get off that line and length when he's on. And
the flip side of all that too, Aaron, and we played them in the quarter-final this morning, and Tony was playing really well, but it kind of you start playing well as well, right? Because you just follow his...
Correct.
Not necessarily his lines, but you just follow the lead of him, and so it brings you onto your game as well. So, it's not all bad when the opposition's playing well, because I think sometimes it can fire you up a little bit.
So Tony's second bowl in, this in number 2.
Just made that small adjustment, just that touch of speed. The screen is a little slow, so you've got to just make sure of that weight, slight reaching all the time.
Well, it's good that we're undercover today, because we wouldn't have got a bowl in on the outside greens today, Steve.
No, that's dead right. In underwater hockey.
Rain hasn't relented all day. In fact, it started at about midnight last night and hasn't stopped. And of course, that semi-final defeat from Gary and Tony was Kevin Beasley and Simon Gow. Kevin, another good run in an Auckland centre title for him. Gets to the semi-final stage as we see Tony Grantham doing what Tony Grantham does and just throw another one on the head. Gary very happy.
Yeah, he's pretty Mr. Rock Solid, isn't he? He's all those years of experience, international level, it shows through, when it comes to the crunch time.
Certainly does. It's good to see Chris Lowe in great form, as I said, in that quarter-final. He was bowling brilliantly there.
And the semi, he played some outstanding bowls in that semi-final as well, and under pressure at times, came up with the goods. He's obviously, as we all know, Jordan have previously won the national pairs, and Chris been around a long time, won a lot of bowls, very, very classy operator when he's going good.
Yeah, so once these 4 bowlers find the green, find their line and length, I think we're going to be in for a classic pairs final here today. As he's just going to sneak around that bowl of Jordan's, is Chris, and he's going to be close to shot there. Maybe not. Maybe still 2 down. Lovely weight though. If he'd got underneath that bowl of Jordan's, he would have been the outright shot.
I wonder if there's just a little bit of reasoning here for Gary to come down his backhand maybe, and just try and beat those bowls of Jordan and Chris's down there, just to stop any jack movement in that direction.
Just try and play that bowl. No, he's going to come on the forehand side. Thank you, Gary, for putting a nice bright sticker on the inside of the bowl for us. Sure he did that for the commentary team.
Absolutely.
So we know which bowl he's bowling, but we get a few people jumping up and down if he's going the wrong way, and might be a wrong bias. So just behind the head for the first for Gary here in number 2. He had the weight perfect. Did Chris Lowe with his first bowl. Just needed that line adjustment. Let's see if he's made it. Well, he certainly made the line adjustment. May have made it too big a correction.
I think he's probably almost adjusted his weight, probably more so. I think the line, possibly with that same weight as his first bowl, possibly would have held around Jordan's bowl. So he's probably not too far away.
Yeah, so Gary is going to switch to that backhand side now. Sort of play that shot that Chris wants to play. If he can get through those bowls and maybe just end.
He gets any touch on the jack and it may just, change
Here we
Chris's
go.
shot.
Any trail through is good. So puts another one in the trailing position too.
Handy bowl back there though. That's it's very useful in the scheme of things.
Good crowd in attendance, as you can see behind there too, representing both the clubs too. Probably Mount Albert outweighing Mount Eden, probably 5-1 in the supporters stakes.
What have we effort here by Chris?
Yeah, great bowl,
close.
Chris.
Yep.
You're going to get the jack and
Very
shot.
well played.
Lovely bowl,
Very well played.
but leaves the crack the egg sort of there.
Yeah, well, Gary's has got obviously he's got the backest bowl. That one off the back edges of Tony's as well will come into play. Should he be able to run into Chris's last bowl?
I think that's the call that Tony's put Gary on, is play up that weight on the forehand side. Any connection on the shot bowl's probably good. They've only got the one behind here. That bowl of Jordan Kings. So here's the weight. What's he going to get, Gary? Nothing. Going to be wide.
Yep.
So still getting his eye in. And they'll go down 2-0 in the early stages here after two ends. Well, Gary Lawson and Tony Grantham, but in their semi-final they were 2-9 down at one stage. And they fought their way back and been national champions, and they've been a great peers combination for a few years now too, this pairing. So
Absolutely.
no panic yet. 18 ends our final two here. If you've joined us in the live stream today, the Auckland Bowls live stream, you should be, because there's nothing else to do. You're not out on the greens bowling, so if you're not at the Remuera Bowling Club supporting, you should be on the couch watching. 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Great line there by Jordan. Just the screen is a little bit slow, so just got to make sure of that weight just reach through.
It is. It's one of those greens that you try to play that extra metre, and you're quite surprised that you play the extra metre over, and you're generally on the jack.
Correct. Yep.
That's Remuera in the inside bowl, and look at that.
Yeah, good bowl, Tony.
Tony straight onto it.
Yep, good
So,
startup.
his second time coming this way. It'll take Tony too long to
And
find
of course,
his line.
those key bowls of the the lead, especially in pairs, and bowls that pressure on the opposition straight away. So, really, really important those first couple of bowls that you get some good position on the head.
That's what we were saying in the ladies' final there with Nicole. She just put that first bowl pressure on. There was 3 ends there in a row that she had a touch for each of those ends, and a touch is pressure. The pressure's there, and that's where they got their winning margin as Grantham comes in with another beautiful bowl.
Yeah, good positional bowl there by Tony. Just done enough to. If there's any jack movement.
Yeah, happy skip behind, 2 bowls behind with good position. As Jordan King plays his final on end number 3.
Not too far away. Just gonna rest out there. Not wasted though. Again, he's. It's probably better there than shy of the head. So it's the right place to miss.
So Tony favouring this backhand side for now as they head away from the crowd, away from our commentary position here. And again, he's played another beautiful one. This one should be in for a toucher this time. Grab your chalk, Gary.
Yeah.
Put a little mark on that bowl. Thank you very much. And lovely position of that bowl too, because even if Chris wants to come down that way, you got the bowl protection there, and gives Gary the chance to come down on the forehand and just turn it around the corner for 4. So sets it up beautifully.
Absolutely. I think, with 2 teams like this and these 2 skips, they're so good at those conversion shots, and so positional bowls from the leads is very, very, very important.
Yeah, it's amazing how you watch these great skips convert. whether it's sometimes just cutting down. If you're down a big number, how do I cut it down? And these two are the best in the business to do that.
Absolutely.
So Chris having a good look at this bowl. He's
not
a little
on
bit narrow.
Line. You can make a little straightener.
You get
well,
lucky little wick.
He's in the mix. A good weight though, really good weight for the shot.
Doesn't change Gary's shot. He's still just looking for that little turn of the jack behind. Nice little draw. He's going to come down the backhand side, in fact.
Yeah, I think if he gets a turn out of Tony's bowl, just roll it around behind the jack a little bit more, which he's going to do. He's going to fall in there himself, so that's a good spot.
1 in 1 out, I would say he's taken.
It does give Chris a little bit of freedom at the back because of Jordan has got a couple of bowls over the head there, so it kind of frees Chris up a little bit to play through the head a bit more now.
Yeah, that's the shot that Jordan has asked for. Give me a little bit of weight, come through. We've got the back. How does he look? He's going to hold up here. He might get both of these bowls out.
Yeah,
he
well
will,
played.
and a lovely
Very good
bowl. Sensational bowl.
Well played.
So they go from 2 down to 1 up. Gary Lawson with the pressure on. He's going to come down this backhand side again.
And that's those conversion shots we were talking about, Aaron. You know, whether you are holding or you're in trouble, it's just changing the heads.
Gary's looking for this bowl because they do hold 2, but he's going to find a gap here. So that says to Chris, I need another one on the head. Possibly resting one of those Grantham bowls out to the right-hand side.
Yeah, absolutely. He won't be looking to, draw to his own shot bowl or the jack, I wouldn't imagine, but beat those bowls and count.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to put 2 together. It obviously just fattens the target a bit for Gary. So
yes, and we know Gary's drive is a very good drive, so you don't want 2 bowls together as such.
Experienced that earlier on today.
Yes,
doesn't miss a lot.
Well, there you go. Now that's a good bad bowl. He's holding 2, but there is a genuine target there for Lawson. Both those bowls are behind the jack.
So it actually gives Gary now he can actually go tighter under the jack now. So, obviously Jack's a good result, but under it, he gets both those bowls.
Here it is. Style hasn't changed for many years, has it? Looks like he's... Oh, he takes a little nick of the jack. Does he get any benefit out of it, or is he still 2 down?
No, that he quite moved it enough.
Yeah, 2 down.
Oh, played that pretty well for no result, really.
Yes, so 3 ends in the final of the men's Auckland Centre finals here. And Chris Lowe and Jordan King go out to a 4-0 advantage. They score the first 3 ends, a 1, a 1, and now a deuce. So 4-0. Great bowl from Gary for a little result there. And
absolutely, yeah. It's just, I guess it's one of those shots you couldn't really play it a heck of a lot better. And for no result, it's I guess a stroke of bad luck. But hey, look, he's in the zone. He's thereabouts. Wouldn't need to change a hell of a lot to get a really good result out of that. So
bowls, you see something new on a bowling green just about every day on what can happen.
Absolutely.
Had one the other
we talked
weekend.
about the weather earlier, Aaron. We're really lucky with these sort of facilities around Auckland, aren't we? That we can still be playing. We've got a few of them now, and this is where they come into their own, really, eh?
The more we get, the better it is too.
Yep.
And saying that, we don't want to get rid of too many of our grass greens as such.
No, we don't.
But, to have these undercover facilities is brilliant because we've had nothing but rain all day today, and we're still going to get a quality game of bowls because look at this. These are the first 2 bowls in end number 4.
Actually, good bowl by Tony's as well, really, in all honesty. If Jordan's bowl wasn't there, he's probably finishing in a similar position. So, two good opening bowls.
Yeah, we were saying that earlier in the women's final with the covers now, and more being looked at around a few more of the clubs. You're in the Royal Oak Club now, and you've got the new cover there. You're the newest cover in Auckland, and seems to have settled in well. Apart from, of course, we had the opening day and we had the floods. I think it was in that week of the opening week, wasn't it?
So actually, the day that was our first day that the green got opened was the day we unfortunately flooded. But hey, look, that's all, a year and a bit gone now, and we've moved on, and things are all good, and yeah, it's certainly a game changer for your club and for the game in general, in all honesty.
Well, I think it's great because myself, I've got to take time off work to bowls, and if you know that you're going to bowl, it's a good thing, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You haven't taken a day off for no reason at all.
Another good bowl here from Jordan. Yep.
He gets in there nicely, so he's holding 2, Jordan.
And the other thing with the covered facilities as well is that if you haven't got a lot of time, say, on your weekends to actually play, you can still get down after work for a practice, and so at least you're still, getting your rhythm and keep things going.
So Tony in the vicinity here with his final
lovely
bowl.
Very good bowl, Tony.
Great bowl and a touch-up.
Yep.
So
Very
Tony
well
Grantham, he'll let the skips go down the other end. Happy that he's holding the shot here. The other good thing, I think, with the covers, and I think we'll see it over the next 5 to 10 years as well, is it allows the youth bowlers to come in after school. So on a winter's night, it's dark at 5:30. You can have the lights on in these undercover buildings. We can get the young ones along, and they can play a 3-5 game, which is all over in an hour. Keeps them involved, and as we've seen through with Nicole, with what she's achieved, and some of the other youngsters that are coming through. We've got Hannah coming through tomorrow with the women's singles final there as well. The more junior players we get, the better the sport's going to be.
100%, yep.
And I think that the covers have a big role to play with that, because it's very hard to get kids to give up their whole day these days, it seems.
Yeah, dead right, yep. And also just anybody, the clubs can run their business house competitions, which have typically been through the, the summer right through the playing season, but you can actually venture outside of that now, and that's also an attractant to a lot of people who might want to take up the game at some capacity, that they can still get out and play during the week.
Yep, it's only got a plus side to it. I don't see a negative with the covered greens. I suppose the only negative is getting rid of some of the grass greens to have the covereds in, but hey, it's as long as we've got enough grass greens to cover competitions in the summertime, can only be beneficial for bowls going forward. Right, Gary Lawson, he's got the shot with Tony Grantham's bowl on the head.
He'll be looking to get another one in there, because if Chris manages, there is a chance he could chip that bowl clean through the gap, and they'd be sitting holding
Gary's
2 or 3
gap
there.
here. He has.
So
certainly does come through that gap. If he gets a third,
absolutely.
Gets a third
Even a little touch on the jack, he's possibly no worse off to Tony's other bowl, with the ability, the possibility of scoring. Again, he's 4-0 up, so it's just building a little bit of pressure.
He's going to play with a little bit of weight here too to chip that bowl out. Just needs the outside third of it. Goes straight through the head. He's playing with enough weight to get there.
He's going to just duck under, is he?
He'll duck under. He'll find that bowl of Jordan King's. Doesn't ruin the situation. He can still play that same bowl for his last if Gary doesn't find something on the head.
Yeah, I think he's done his 3, so it might have been his last opportunity on this end.
I'll learn to count shortly, Steve. Yeah, and there's only 3 white bowls there too.
So holding 1 in Gary with last bowl. There is room for him to draw a second shot. He does have to be a little bit careful. I would suspect he'll come down his forehand. It's a safer option for him. Yep, he's coming down that forehand side. There's a chance he rests on Jordan's bowl, which would give him 2.
It's not a million miles away as it starts to break back into the head. Weight might be just a little bit too over.
Just about perfect, I think. Just a touch wide, but they're on the board. Up and running.
Let's wait and see. I'm pretty sure it was only the 1, but we'll wait for them to put it on the board for us. 4-1 it will be after 4 ends. Let's see, just the 1. So Gary putting it up on the board. Let's see what length Tony Grantham goes to. He's got the mat back on the back tee.
And typically, when we played them early today, they tended to go to those longer lengths, that 2-2 length or close to it.
Yeah.
It seems to be their go-to. It won't worry Chris and Jordan though. They're experienced enough to, they'll be able to handle that fine.
So playing the long length here. Tony Grantham with his first down on the backhand side.
Pretty good start-up.
He certainly doesn't mind the 2-2, does he?
No.
T.
Very
Grantham. Lovely first bowl. It will be interesting as we work our way through. We're in 5 of 18 to see should the mat be changed and the length be changed, and trying to change the tactics here, but at this stage Jordan just looking to get close
just
here.
Come up a little bit, just a bit shy there. A good, probably good metal more out.
Yep.
Ideally, he would have liked to have been reaching to Tony's bowl, I think. On this is a sort of green, you're drawing the jack. You really want to be probably 6 inches a foot over if you can, just with those early bowls, just to give you some position.
Yeah, with the quality of skips, there's not going to be too many ends that the jack's going forward.
No, I wouldn't think so.
So, bowls behind, key to this final. Jordan King plays his second down, looking to correct off that first bowl. He's corrected with the weight. Again, he's just going to cut through that centre line, a couple of metres short of the jack, but the weight wasn't bad.
Yeah, just that bowl, that dynamic, which he used, that aerodynamic, it just holds up there, just holds its line at the end. So, his bowl didn't run out of the head. It's a good spot there. Possibly the shot too.
So Tony with his third, he's found the weight on the forehand side, and he'll be all over the jack again here.
And that will be the shot.
So 2 or 3 bowls low, but still in prime position. Here's Jordan.
So one down, and that'll be to that last bowl of Tony's. So I think Jordan needs to change a heck of a lot here. He's sort of in the zone with his previous bowl.
I think Chris would be happy to see one over the head here.
Yeah, he's going to be under Tony's bowl, I think. He's just going to drift under. He might draw the shot here.
He's going to cut that centre line again. But he'll be close to the shot there.
That's handy.
Handy enough. He'll settle down shortly, Jordan, and he'll start nailing the jack like he did in the quarter and the semi.
Still favour Tony's bowl. I think that slightly shorter bowl there at 11 o'clock, I think, looks the shot at the minute.
So Gary Lawson looks like he's playing with Taylor's.
Yeah, Taylor Redliners, I think he's got.
Redline SLs for Gary. Bowlers like to know what bowlers are using. I think Tony uses his Hensel lights still.
I think Tony's got Taylor's as well. I think he's got SRs.
Okay.
Maybe.
Just can't see with his stickers on.
And I think Jordan has always typically used Taylor's, but Chris has gone to Hero Optimus. So.
Yeah, he seems to be handling them well.
He does indeed.
So he's going to be narrow as well as Chris. So seeing they've been narrow with all 4 bowls thus far. The Mount Eden team.
Good weight.
Lovely weight. You just feel
Gary will be conscious, I think, that whilst it's a tough shot for Chris to play to get the jack over to those bowls, it is there. And I think Gary will be conscious. I don't think he'll mind if he's slightly tight and just covering those bowls.
He's looking for Jordan's bowl here, not that one. He was looking for the one at about 5 o'clock.
So there's a couple of chances here for Chris. He can either come down the same hand he just played, or he can actually go inside out on it, as Jordan there, he's describing it there. It may just suit the eye better to perhaps come across the head, back cut the jack, rest the bowl, rest the shot bowl. A little bit more weight on here by the looks.
So he's coming down on a nice line. He might just get unlucky here. Oh no, he takes out.
I nearly got lucky.
What was I would say maybe the second shot. Let's see what. No, he's got one. Oh. So Tony Grantham says we've still got one.
Might have to be a little bit careful though, Gary, because if he's
not there,
there's an opportunity for Chris to sit that bowl or touch a jack movement for 2 or 3.
Secondly, So Gary comes in, he's going to draw the shot outright. So,
well, it'll be 2.
couple of opportunities for Chris though to play that similar bowl that he played the last one.
Jordan's calling Jack in the ditch here, so I guess it also gives him the opportunity he could at least get one of the bowls if he doesn't get the Jack. So
and again, that's the cutting down side of things too. If you miss the Jack, you get one of the bowls. I don't think there's the opportunity to get both bowls.
We
We'll
might
soon
get the bowl
find
and
out.
then the Jack.
Oh,
We nearly got both bowls.
he nearly did. The opportunity was nearly there, but it'll be a 1 for the Mount Albert team. So they move on to 2. Gary Lawson, Tony Grantham. So they are 2 forward down after 5 ends. Chris Lowe and Jordan King from Mount Eden. So we've had the 5 ends. Chris and Jordan have scored on 3. Gary and Tony on the last 2 ends with singles there to them. As again we play a long end here for end number 6. This is your men's pairs Auckland Centre finals for 2024. 2 very good combinations. I was just about to say there, 2 coming down on the 5th end for this one, Steve, that you just feel that the bowls are starting to get closer and closer as these boys are honing in.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, that's what happens with good players, right? Once they find that line, they get the hang of the speed for a few ends. You would expect that to happen. And that's where that positional play is really going to come into it. Obviously, these skips, they can play any shot in the book. So I think this is going to be a big battle for these leads. I think gaining that upper hand in that position early on.
Yeah. To be in the right positions for their skips is going to be key to this final. Both first bowls over the head, which skips are happy with. Don't get too many sad skips when you pass the head.
No, absolutely.
And Tony with his second bowl comes in. And again, already showing that consistency that we know from Tony Grantham, that's seen him represent New Zealand for many, many years. A steady bowling style of his. As Jordan King with his second now. He's found a much better line, Jordan. This one down. He won't mind coming through that bowl of Grantham's either. So
yeah, that's not the worst. I mean, he would have probably liked to cleared the outside edge of it, I would have thought, but it's opened the front up. It's not the worst.
Yeah, I think the big key to that is it's showing them the line, showing them the line for this extreme end. And I think we saw from the ladies' game too that you've got to be close to out to the boundary for these bowls to come back without cutting the centre line. As Grantham plays another one, but
Jordan plays the same bowl as he played previously. I think he won't be far away. I think he was on a good track with his last one.
He might be playing with that little bit of, well, he want to be playing with weight to get there. Can he find the Jack and bring it back to that one bowl of his waiting? He'll sit that one out of
that's okay.
Grantham's. That should see Grantham's one in the ditch, which it does. So skips head down to the mat. Mount Albert holding 2, but I'm pretty sure Chris Lowe is looking at that similar shot that he was looking with his last bowl on the previous end. You're looking for the Jack in the ditch here.
Absolutely, and these bowls are round. Admittedly, they are Tony's bowls, but hey, these bowls here to use as well, to rest on, grab hold of that Jack. There's plenty of chances here. And Gary will be obviously wanting to be over the head. He'll see that danger.
Yeah, ideally you'd like to split these 2 bowls out the back, or even been the backest, maybe a foot, 2 feet off this ditch.
That's exactly what he's done, I think.
Trying
to
get
hold
there.
up, is he?
Will he hold up?
He will.
Oh,
yeah,
good bowl.
Very good bowl.
So that'll change up the shot of Chris's now.
Probably more of a reaching weight now, I think. Maybe just looking to rest a bowl. Maybe just, move the Jack a couple of feet rather than trying to...
He is looking at ditch weight. I think that's ditch weight coming down. He's drifting in beautifully here. What does he get? Slice of the Jack. He does. Does he kill it? No, it goes right out to the boundary marker.
Yeah, well played.
I'll be holding 1, so that Jordan King bowl, multicoloured bowl, that's the shot bowl. And I would say we're only 2 or 3 inches off the boundary. So Gary's got the option to play the forehand, swing it right out there and bring it back in, or play on the narrow side on the backhand. So not too sure what's happening here. There's a bit of movement around.
I think somebody walking behind the end of the ring.
I think it's the the roll-up bowlers from today, just having a little bit of movement behind. Couldn't wait till the end was finished, but anyway, that's all happened, and Gary's back into stride. Lovely release, isn't it?
Yep.
Just a lovely. Never changes.
Doing it a long time.
Yeah. That's the key to a good bowl, isn't it?
He's coming back.
He's coming back.
What's his weight like?
It's not bad. Is he in?
Is he in? He's in.
Grantham has a look. He says, I say it's on the line. Gary will be saying, I'll say it's on the line. I'm pretty sure that Chris and Jordan might be an umpire. I think they're happy. Oh no. We'll put a mat on the line and we'll soon find out. So our umpire Gerard Hurston behind, he's saying, call the umpire, call the... And there we go. Umpire called into action. So Gerard...
From our angle here, Aaron, it looks like if that bowl is in play, it will probably be the shot, I would think.
So talk us through what's happening here, Steve. What does Gerard look for as he puts the mirror on the line?
Yep, and obviously there's a line on the boundary marker peg at the other end of the rink, and he'll be looking to see if any part of that bowl is touching the line, which
we might need the microscope. We had a really fancy gadget, and I did commentary the last time. It was like on a microscope. It was a
big telescope.
Yeah, telescope. Yeah, telescopic lens, and I think they're happy. Are they happy that it's in? No, he's going. Here we go. We've got it. Here we go. The telescope's out. So Gerard's found the best bit of equipment. Probably just wanted to use it as the umpire today too. He's going to have to move our roll-up sign out of the way too. So here we go.
Move it down the other end of the roll-up.
Yeah. Yes. It's finished for the day, the roll-up.
Yeah.
So this is the fancy piece of kit for the umpires now. And gets into his position. Damn shame we haven't got a smartphone on the end of it and we can look straight down the line with Gerard. And no, it's out. Gary's going to say, but hang on. It's got to be on the line, Gerard. 1% on the line is, what do they say, 99% out is 100% in, so Gary's not happy. You line that up. I'll just move the...
Chris is already in.
Yeah. Well, I think once the umpire has spoken, I think it's cool. Gary not happy, but here's Chris Lowe with his second bowl down. We'll see where he ends up, and he's going to end up a little bit short, about
good line, but
2 or 3 metres short.
Speed.
So Gary, well, he only needs to correct it by an inch, and he's the shot, and he's found a better line. So it's just whether he can beat this bowl of Jordan's, the multicolour bowl. He's going to roll past Jordan's.
He's going to run through the head.
He'll run through, so it's still 1 to Lowe and King. And I would say that Chris would definitely want one here now, because if he leaves that one lonely bowl there, I think I could count 4 seconds for the Lawson Grantham team. And
yeah, I think
don't need to tell Gary twice that you're holding second,
except
third,
he's run out of bowls again, Aaron.
Has he?
He has.
He has.
He has.
Oh, well, then he won't be needing that one. So it'll be 1 to Chris Lowe and Jordan King. Move them on to 5. So it'll be 5-2 Lowe and King. So
as we would expect, pretty.
I was quite surprised then that Gary didn't have a look at that bowl.
Yeah, well, there was a possibility. I mean, he also had the option of nicks the jack and puts it out of play, the replay the end.
Yes.
So, there was a couple of options there for him, but I guess he backed himself to draw the shot, and he wasn't too far away. I mean, his bowl was obviously very close to the boundary line, his second bowl, so he didn't have to make a huge adjustment.
If I go out and ask Gary, he'll tell you it was in. So Jordan King with the first bowl down for the 7th end of our 18 for the men's pairs Auckland Centre final. And here's a much better start from
really
Jordan.
good Jordan. Yep, he's found the line better that time. Yep, well played. And that's the sort of weight you need to be using here, Aaron, is just to, just that reaching weight that if you're going to miss, you miss in the right area, I guess, over the head, and that's a good start from Jordan.
So Tony Grantham, of course, with the jack now away from the centre line. He's adjusted his line quite nicely. He's looking to sit this bowl of Jordan's. You get close to it, but he will be second shot. Don't think it's going to change Jordan's shot. He'll stay on the same hand here. No, in fact, he's going to switch. He will switch. Well, he might have stayed on that same hand and just come past. But he'll try and do it with the backhand, and he'll find that position anyway. That was sort of the position I thought he'd end in if he did come down the other side, which is a handy enough home.
Tony doesn't need to make much of an adjustment from his previous bowl. I mean, he's only, probably 6 inches off being perfect. So he's got a couple to rest on there, his own or Jordan's.
Yeah, just a little edge off his own or Jordan's here. We'll see him
like
have the shot.
Well played, Tony.
Wants to sit down. Hasn't sat down, but good bowl. And Jordan's third and final for this end.
Looks like he might be just going some. He's doing that around. That's all right, though. A couple of good bowls over the head and a good second shot. So there's a bit of position there for Chris.
Yeah, Chris won't be too displeased with back bowls. So Tony again.
Just duck under his own, I think.
Just tried to hold up, but
really good weight again, though, eh? Bang on.
Ducked under and not in a bad position, because a chance for the jack to squeeze one way or the other if there's a little bit of weight coming through.
Just Chris being a left-hander too, he may look at playing this other hand that Jordan played with his first bowl, which obviously will bring Jordan's back bowls into play. The problem he has if he plays the other hand is that he could make it worse for himself, so he may look at following Jordan's first bowl down.
So let's see what Chris does. He's
going that way, so it's exactly what he's looking for.
Of course, backhand for the lefty. And a little bit narrow.
Just a bit tight.
Line was good. Just that little bit of extra weight. So that one goes out of bounds. So that's up on the bank.
Where's Gary? Is he going to look at trying to cover those? You see those two bowls of Jordan's there. Does he look to try and split those, sit in the count and break those two bowls up?
Interesting to see what hand he plays. I favour the backhand.
I don't know that he'll want to load the head too much, I don't think, and allow Chris to play a shot.
I think he got the right bowl. He's looking for that back bowl of Jordan's. That's his new jack that he'd like to be at.
Absolutely. Just without having any back bowls at present, I don't think he wants to be on the head. So he's right down where we thought. Yeah, well played, Gary.
Put a positional bowl in there anyway, which now gives him the option.
It's still there for Chris, though, isn't it? If he can just slide under those front two bowls there, get a little bit of jack movement.
That's the shot that Jordan's asking for, just that metre through. If you find the jack, you'll bring it back to these back bowls. He's just a little bit high, so that'll float through the head. That should be another one up on the bank. It will be. So Lawson with his second. Now he can draw into the head if he chooses to, because he's got a bit of position out the back now. So
the problem now for Chris is playing that shot is if he runs into Tony's bowl, and if he got an outside edge of Tony's bowl and he sits his own bowl through the head, and he could also peel off there, then it's not good for him. So he just has to be a touch careful here.
So Chris Lowe with his final bowl, and he's tied again here now. There's a few options for Gary.
I wonder if Gary would look at that. I mean, if he can get rid of that bowl of Jordan's, he's probably a chance for
if he
3
sits,
or 4.
If he sits that bowl, he's 3. So that's all he needs is to crack the egg on Tony's bowl.
Get a couple of rolls out of it.
Yeah, and he sits 3. It's one of those things over many, many years with Gary Lawson. If you've been watching his bowling, he's one of those bowlers that can almost see into the future. You know, he knows what he's going to play, and this is a great bowl.
Yeah,
Brilliant
well played,
effort,
Gary.
and
Very
he'll still
well
get
played.
2 shots out of it.
Yeah,
And just a lovely bowl. Gets them to 1 behind now, so that's the first multiple for the Mount Albert Bowling Club team to move them to 4. So 5 plays 4 here. Chris Lowe, Jordan King. As we edge closer to halfway in this final for the Mearns Peers Centre title for Auckland.
And it shows how tight the game really is, Aaron. You know, 9 shots and 7 ends. So
It's something you won't see every day of the week.
No.
Is a lost jack from Tony Grantham.
And he won't be happy with that.
So this will be interesting to see what Jordan does. Does he bring the mat?
I think Jordan. Well,
No,
no,
he's gonna stay there. I
Might
thought
throw
they-
a shorter jack though, maybe. I don't know. I think he'll try and change the length of the end because Tony's been pretty solid on that longer length. So
Yeah, the opportunity was certainly there to change something up. So they haven't gone quite T to T, it looks like here.
I think Jordan might have been looking to throw a short jack there, but I wonder if he's.
No, he didn't get it all the way. So he tried to throw a
Right.
short one. So it's going back to the 2 metre mark.
So he did try to make the change. So 2 incorrectly thrown jacks. You're not going to.
Yep.
It's a rarity to see one of guy who leads of this calibre, let alone 2. And there's Tony on that favoured length, right
Yeah.
on it again.
2 to 2.
Very good start up.
Just that nice comfort length. Anything goes wrong, we go back to the 2 to 2, and it's probably the length the majority of bowlers play when it comes to roll-ups and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
People tend to like the 2 to 2, get their money's worth.
Yeah, well played, Jordan.
Yeah, good
Very
bowl
good
here by
response.
Jordan.
Yep,
That'll
well
be shot
played.
itself.
Absolutely, well played.
So Tony, I think he's taken a favour to this side of the rink too. He's going to play forehand this way, and he has been playing backhand the
Really good weight because
Other way.
any contact on Jordan's bowl there, and he brings his previous bowl into play. So really good weight by Tony.
Yep, well, Jordan will be looking to be behind the head now. He'd love to rest that back bowl of Tony's, so not the furthest back, but this one at about 7 o'clock, which
Yeah,
he's going to
he's
get
done-
very close to.
Anywhere you finish, that's a very good result. Yep, good home. He's got the backest bowl, and the jack's on, the track of that bowl. The jack, sorry, looks like he's going to miss Tony's bowl. So, yep, well played, Jordan.
So the Leeds battle just starting to really fire up now, which is good. So they nestle into this final of the men's peers, Auckland Centre title. Trust you're enjoying the action here on our live stream today.
Jordan will stay there though. He's still got the chance to beat that bowl of Tony's. Set holding 2.
He's found that same track as his second bowl through.
Yeah,
Want to touch
his
his
weight.
own bowl. Wouldn't want to touch the jack.
Exactly the same bowl. Yep.
Comes
Anyway,
through.
2 handy bowls back there. Any contact by Gary now on that shot bowl, and those bowls of Jordan's are looking pretty good.
He sets it up quite nicely for the skips. And Gary will be first bowl down. So we've had 7 ends thus far. 4 ends scored by Chris and Jordan. A single, a pair and a single. And 3 scoring ends thus far for Gary and Tony with a single, and a deuce to make it 5-4 as we're in the 8th end. Gary's coming down the backhand side. He's just looking for contact on the shot bowl. Quite a lot of weight there too.
Yeah, I think with that speed, the jack may have probably would have gone right past those bowls of Tony's, and obviously that's Jordan's 2 back bowls would come into play. So I don't think Chris and Jordan will be too worried about seeing Gary play with that type of weight.
So again, Chris, he'll be looking for this bowl at 7 o'clock. He's just not going to have the weight, I don't believe. He's going to be, well, he's
Nuisance, really.
put a nuisance bowl for Gary.
Yeah, you got some form of result out of it. So
Improve Gary's mood with a bowl in front like that. So Mount Albert Bowling Club's Gary Lawson, his second, and did catch his eye too. He's under the line. He's looking for that same sort of run, but
not quite so quick as the first one, though. If you notice, he just backed off a little bit of weight there. I think just trying to get that jack to hang around closer to where Tony's bowls are.
Chris would really like to find the 7 o'clock bowl now. Just turn that out of the head, put a bit more pressure onto Gary. He's going to be short again. So 2 disappointing bowls for Chris. You won't be happy with those. They're still holding the shot.
Gary might change his hand here and actually come down the other hand, I think.
I'm just wondering if it chips off.
Well, I think if he gets an edge, I think it will run and the jack won't move.
The problem is to get that thinner edge, there's the problem with Grantham's bowls there, that he could get into those. So he's come down the forehand side. He's too quick.
A bit wide, I think.
So he's
for
going
what
to be
he wants.
wide.
Yep. Oh, well, good opportunity for Chris here to draw for 2.
Yep.
Just extend that lead out a little bit.
That's the bowl that Jordan's asking for. Just find that 7 o'clock bowl. You beat that bowl, you've got 2. And we keep ourselves nicely in front against Lawson and Grantham as we get closer to halfway in this final. A much better bowl here from Chris Lowe.
Yeah, if he just
breaks
drops
into the
onto
head.
that bowl.
There should be 2. It will be 2. Lovely bowl.
Well played, Chris. Very good.
So 2 takes them to 7. So 7-4 as we get into the 9th end of this men's Piers Auckland Centre final.
And there'll be one of the few ends, Aaron, I think, where the head hasn't changed after the leads have
Correct.
swapped over.
So here's interesting. So Jordan went. He went for that really short end, which he didn't bowl the jack up to last time with the bad roll of Tony's. But he's gone back to the 2-2 again. So they're not going to change it up. They were happy with that. Maybe Jordan was happy with he'd found his pace for the 2-2, and by this bowl he has. And he's going to be behind the head here, but a good opening bowl.
Yeah, very good. The other thing too with actually playing the game the opposition want to play is that you're kind of taking the game to them, and it's like, well, we're not going to back down, boys. We're happy to play this length too. So if you want to beat us, then you're going to have to change something.
Correct. It's not just a physical game, bowls. Good mental side of it too, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Get in your opponent's heads, as you say. If their favoured length is 2-2 and you can beat them on their favoured length, just puts more pressure onto them. So Jordan with his second bowl should break in. He's trying hard to break in for
He's
him.
going to finish in a good home anyway, no matter where he is there. Yeah, 2 good bowls by Jordan. Very good position on the head. Tony will be looking to reach those 2 bowls.
Yeah, and he's changed his hand, Tony. So as I mentioned, this is the side of the rink that he was happy with. He did try a forehand with his first, so he's come to the backhand again, and he's all over it.
Very
so
good. Very good correction.
That's in for shot. He'll sit the shot with his second bowl, and
It wouldn't change a lot if I was Jordan, though. I think that weight's good. Even if he plonks another bowl there, I think that's fine. I mean, last thing you want to do is try and draw the jack and fall, a foot short. So I think
even getting a turn out of Tony's bowl here would be a great result for him. But
no, that's fine.
Yep, 3 good
bowls.
positional bowls. And Tony Grantham, as we mentioned, we're on rink 8, so he's playing this side of the rink very well, both ways. To try that first one down this hand on the forehand, cut across the green, and going to chip that one in, and that'll be a counter 2 now. So Grantham holding 2 as they cross over. 9th end of the Auckland men's centre finals.
And of course, you see that
Here's
last
final.
bowl of Tony's. It just kind of sat out a little bit wide there. It didn't quite finish like the previous bowl. Wouldn't mind betting Chris may look at following him down. He's a left-hander, so he's possibly going to get a little bit more turn out of that.
Well, there's some nice options here for Chris. You can sit either of those bowls of Tony's. You either sit one bowl for the shot, or sit the other one for second. Little nibble of the jack. Jordan's positioned his bowls beautifully to be catches here, so he doesn't need to be short. And he's found a nice line coming down too, has Chris Lowe with his first. He's not far away here. He might just slip under
bowl.
Tony.
Rest
The
there,
edge
you
off
get
that,
the shot. Well
and
played.
that is shot.
Very good bowl.
Lovely bowl, Chris. So that puts the pressure on Gary.
Gary's really only got the draw here. I think any form of weight here for Gary could be dangerous. So, you know, he's got a very short trail onto the jack, but
He's not happy with it. Not happy with it out of the hand.
Yeah, he wouldn't want to get the jack full.
Mind you, he's found the gap, has he? No, he's found the jack, and probably one shot to them too. So for not liking it, it's turned out okay.
Jordan's bowl's possibly still holding shot, I think, out the side there. Chris,
Yeah, it's very tight. I'd tend to favour actually the Grantham bowl. I think the Grantham bowl by maybe half a bowl. But here's Chris anyway. Can he change it up? Can he get in there, draw it himself? He's going to be close again, but I think he's just out of the count. We'll get a confirmation here from Tony having a look. I think I heard him say he favoured them. So Gary Lawson.
yeah, he's close here.
Yeah. We're off the centre line, breaks through the centre line beautifully, and there we go. Lawson will be shot himself, I would say. It's always tough on the angle, so Jordan suggesting that that is the shot bowl.
And there's a chance to get both those two bowls if Chris wants to play that. She's looking down there, so yeah, maybe he's going to have a look at that.
Having a little wind up, so let's see. Chris Lowe with his final bowl. He's not going to be a million
He's
miles
not far
away.
He
Won't
might
want
grab
his
the
own.
jack here. Might grab the jack here.
His do comes through his own,
Oh, well,
and
good enough for
that'll
shot.
give him- that'll give him the shot, and will be. So
At least one here for Chris and Jordan, so a bit of pressure on Gary.
yeah,
I
it's
mean, they may well be holding two there, so
can only be a dead draw for Gary here too. He's ideally just love to, mind you.
he's
always
got
like
a chance of two, but
the white bowl stands out like another jack, so he's only really got a draw to that. So
I don't think he'd play with weight. I mean, there is a chance, I guess, if he grabs the jack. Tony's got the backers bowl there, but I don't know. It's slightly risky.
I tend to favour that they're just the one down, Mount Albert. Just feel that last bowl of Gary Lawson's down is just holding the second shot here, so that'll put Gary just straight onto the draw, and he doesn't need to change much from his last bowl.
No,
His last
same
bowl
bowl.
was a cracker, just a bowl of weight. That's all he needs. Found a nice line again.
Gonna just hold, I think.
He will just
Yeah.
hold, so we'll find out anyway.
So he was searching slightly though, as the weight he was using.
Let's see what they do with the board. It is just the
Just
one.
the one.
So another scoring in goes to the Mount Albert duo, and they move out to 8-4 halfway through the men's pairs Auckland Centre final for 2024. So gripping final it is too. We're halfway home, and the national champions of Gary Lawson and Tony Grantham, they're 4 behind. Chris Lowe and Jordan King have been former national champions. They've been a great combination for many years, this pair as well.
And again, Jordan persisting with that slightly longer end. He's happy to play that.
He's a good 2.5 metres up this time though from the 2, but he's found it with his first bowl nicely. So again, getting good position with his early bowls is Jordan King. Tony Grantham, he'll keep persisting down this side of the rink. I don't think we'll see too many changes from Tony now. I think he's happy this side of the rink is his side of the rink. He's liking it. And here's another good bowl in from Tony. Toucher. Yep. Put some chalk on, please, Gary. Thank you very much. One of those good bad bowls where it just sits the 3 o'clock.
And once you find a line, you just want to stick with it, don't you? You don't really want to go changing too much.
Which is a good thing in pairs. You led today. We make a simple game seem very, very hard sometimes, as we see Jordan come down, sit that bowl of Tony's, get a toucher himself and the shot. And that's what it's about, line and length. You find your line and length and out-bowl your lead. 9 times out of 10 you'll win the game.
Correct. Well, you certainly put a lot of pressure on, don't you? And you sometimes force the opposition into playing shots they don't necessarily want to play, or they have to look at other options. It's just a whole pressure situation. So if you can keep building that pressure, then, strange things happen in bowls. So.
Yep. It's amazing what pressure can do. And
even
now,
to the best.
I know we're halfway through, but straight away, when you're Chris and Jordan, you've got the board in your favour as well. So you're playing the board too. You don't need to be risking going down big numbers.
And remembering we're halfway through the game, and the biggest number is a 2 so far. So it's not as though there's numbers thrown around, is there?
Yep.
And that's a good bowl of Jordan's here, just putting in a bit of cover at the back. It's got good position.
The good position of the bowls too means that these big ends aren't being able to eventuate. So Tony just wanting to be past the head here, because any movement on the jack is going to be good. And
that's well played by Tony. I mean, he's got a really good second shot. If Gary gets any jack movement at all, that's pretty good for him.
So building up nicely, this head for the 10th end. Don't forget we've got the men's triples final tomorrow, or semi-finals, and the semi-finals of the ladies singles. We'll have the finals live here on the stream tomorrow as well. The second part of our finals weekend here for the Auckland Centre, as Chris Lowe sends down his first. Seemed to be on a decent line. Just cutting under.
Smidge of weight, that's all.
And Gary just deciding on.
Ideally, I think Chris was probably wanting to get to Tony's bowl, sort of sitting at a.
I think actually where that bowl's ended up is. It'll change Gary's shot here, because I'm pretty sure Gary was looking for that draw straight through the line of Chris's bowl, where Chris's bowl has ended up there, so it's forced him onto the backhand. A little tuck of the jack on the forehand would have been the shot. So he's coming down a touch of extra weight. Certainly looks like he's playing ditch weight here. He's just going to be offline. So that'll be the 4th shot. Jordan King holding first and third.
If Chris can get a bowl, just sneak around Jordan's shot bowl, it'll really change Gary's shot, I think. I think you'll find Gary will go searching the head a lot more.
Yeah, so here's Chris. He's found the extra green that he needed. See if it'll break back in for him. We've seen from the ladies' final, and the early part of this final finds hard to break from that side, and it's the speed of the green. You feel like you've got to throw the bowl a little bit harder, and sometimes you can just bowl the bowl straight through the break and it won't come back for you. And we saw that in the ladies' final a couple of times with Jo, with her bowls out that side. So Gary playing with a bit more firmer weight this time. And he's just going to duck under.
Might get a straightener off Chris here.
What does he do? No, he'll just sit that bowl of Jordan.
Almost.
Mind you, it does set it up. And he still has got one to play, so there is the plant there now for Jordan's bowl. So
He will lose his own back bowl, I think, though. I think Jordan's bowl would take Tony's. So it would depend where Gary's bowl ended up, and if he does play that. I think Chris will still be looking to get another bowl into that head, though.
And he's still going to play this tricky end. He's got nice green down to his weight here.
He can get around Jordan's bowl onto this
Love
bowl
to
of
get
Tony's.
onto Tony's, wouldn't he? Love to
Just
get
like
onto
this.
Tony's, and
That's
a beautiful
yeah,
bowl.
well played.
Might have just turned out the wrong way. Would have loved that to fall in as opposed to fall out.
The unfortunate thing for that, he may have now freed up Gary just to play a bit more speed through his own bowl, because previously the bowl of Jordan's was taking Tony's back bowl, but he might have just...
Well, crack the egg gives Gary and Tony the shot.
If he can roll that bowl of Jordan's just into the gap between the black and white bowl there, he might score a couple. And,
so the pressure on this last bowl coming in for Gary Lawson. He's down 1. Down 4-8 on the board as well. Seen it so many times over the years, though, that in these precious situations, this is the bloke that you want standing on the mat, bowling the bowl for you. So here it comes. He's on the forehand, and he's just looking for this exact shot.
He's
just under, is he? Got a bit of it. Ooh.
Not
so
quite
they'll
enough.
go down 1. So it'll be another 1. So they add another 1 on to Chris Lowe and Jordan King, the Mount Eden pair. They go 5 in front now. 9-4 as we get into the back half of this men's pairs final. The Auckland Centre title of 2024. Gripping game it is too. And the scoreboard comes into it. The pressure on the scoreboard now. Yeah. Say if it's singles from now sort of thing, you 2 ends to go and you're all locked up. So that scoreboard pressure will start to take its effect, but not with Gary and Tony, but
no, they'll be looking at it and thinking they've still got another 8 ends to play yet. So
good first bowl pressure here from Jordan again.
You know, they've still got enough ends up their sleeve. They can, one's still good fishing at this stage. It's not like they're chasing a number just yet, so I don't think they'll be panicking.
In saying that, they wouldn't mind scoring on this end because
yeah, good bowl, Tony.
It's been a bit of a drought, and that's a good start from Tony Grantham with the toucher there. Out of the 10 ends thus far, Chris and Jordan have scored on 7 of them. Gary and Tony just the 3. But tight here for Jordan this time.
And 4 of the last 5 as well, so
pretty
Tony
important end.
Yeah, Tony and Gary will definitely be looking for some points here. Tony's looking pretty good again, I think.
Yeah, drawing in nicely.
He's coming well again.
Like to get around that front bowl of Jordan's, which he will.
Yes, 2 very good bowls, Tony.
Great bowl. There's a nice little sit there if Jordan wanted to switch to his backhand, but
yeah,
it looks like he might be. So it looks like he might have switched hands here. So look for that little split if he doesn't need to play weight. Just a draw to the split. Give him the shot. And he won't be far away. He's found the line. It's all down on the speed now. Just not going to break in time for him. So just a little bit too weighty, but not a bad position.
No, that's good. It's a very good home.
So Tony comes down on the forehand side again, and he might just get into that front bowl of Jordan's. He does.
He
now
may get unlucky there.
He does get unlucky. That's sort of the bowl that I thought Jordan would play with his second coming down, and Tony's played it for him and possibly given him the shot here. The way Gary was...
I think Tony gets on the outside of his own bowl and he's looking good, right? He's just got a little bit unlucky there.
Yeah, it was just the weight again, but it does look as though they are 1 down, Mount Albert.
Now Chris will be wanting to put another one in there though, I think, because
Well,
even though they are holding shot, it is still slightly dangerous for them. I mean, there is a shot there for Gary. He could get it, the black onto Jordan's bowl, a bowl of Tony's. Sits at kind of 3 o'clock, or even if he searches the other hand, there's plenty of chances there. So Chris will definitely want another bowl on the head.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see which way Chris comes, whether he goes his forehand. Looks like he's setting up for the backhand. He is. So he's going to come the backhand side and probably just try and cover that trail if Gary wants to come down his backhand side, come through those bowls of Tony's. Oh.
It almost looked like Chris was wanting to try and move the jack, because he rolls the Tony's bowl up and over onto the jack and kind of takes all the shots away, right? It just really allows Gary the draw for one, so not a bad idea of Chris's here. Now this is the shot we were saying before, Aaron. If he gets that onto,
there we go. That was the play, and I think he's managed to hold the one there. So he's come through to get the shot as well. He'll hold the one. Tony Grantham's bowl.
Yeah,
so
unfortunately, he has given Chris quite a lot of room here to draw shots. So
he certainly has.
And you'd expect him to do so. He's happily obliged.
Yeah, lovely. He would have loved
Touch
a
of
little.
the jack.
He would have loved a little drag of that jack back to where that bowl's
He
finished
gets it a
too.
bit squarer. He makes a couple of it and puts a bit of pressure on.
So might still be a measure here. So goes in for another look, does Grantham. Just to see where they are position-wise. We'll see here. Goes in for a third look, so maybe Tony thinks he's got it.
Yeah, I think Tony's saying he favours their bowl. They got one.
Yeah.
So, a little bit unlucky for Chris there. He played a really good bowl, just slipping past the edge of the jack.
So it does change Gary's shot just a little, knowing that he has got the shot. Hopefully. Tony's fingers are working well today.
He's not far away here.
He's not far away. If he
Very
just slides
close.
down that line, he'll
Any
be
touch
shot
off
himself.
anything at all there will...
There we go.
Well played.
And, well, it'll take the measure out of it, but he'll have the shot.
Possibly makes it a bit safer in some respects too, right? He stopped a trail from Chris now.
Does Chris and Jordan have second and third? Does it give him the option to try and chip this bowl off? I had to look at the scoreboard, so maybe. With that movement of the jack, has that brought Jordan King's multicoloured bowl at the back into play here, and have them with two. We'll soon find out with the weight that Chris plays. Looks like he's just drawing down Chris. He's found a lovely track for it. He's found a lovely track. Does he get the jack? Can he get around Gary's bowl? He's got around Gary's bowl. He was very close.
Great effort.
Very, very close. And there's still the one down. Surely it couldn't be second shot to Tony Grantham's bowl.
I think so. Gary was having a good look though.
He was, wasn't he? Or was he having a look that if he played with a little bit of weight through that gap and found those two bowls of Chris's, that it brought that one in, if he sat those two bowls? We'll see.
Don't know that he'd play that, to be fair. I mean, you're only going to get one more by playing that shot. He can just draw for two.
Yep, well, he's on the forehand side, so that's exactly what he's doing. So, incoming last bowl on end number 11. More importantly, Mount Albert will be scoring this end. It will be a 1, but they do get that scoreboard moving. So they move to 5. Their opponents on 9, 4 between them.
So an important end for them to score, really, because you know what? Whilst there's still ends to play, it's you want to keep yourself in the fight, right? So you don't want to get too far behind, leave yourself too much work to do in the dying stages. So even though it was only a 1, it was a really important one for Gary and Tony.
But you like seeing the scoreboard just ticking over too, even if it's only by 1s and 2s. Just keep that scoreboard ticking over. So again, to this extreme length, 2-2. Getting their money's worth in the final. Of course, no time limit in a final, so we play to the end. And for us viewing and watching, you always hope for an extra end.
Absolutely. And hey, look, wouldn't write it off just yet either.
No. Well, as you say, the biggest score thus far through 11 ends has been 2. Chris and Jordan have had a couple of those. Just one to the Lawson Grantham team. As the first bowl of Jordan's comes in. And again, he's found a happy home with his first bowl. The line was perfect. Just about a metre of weight over. And Tony.
He made that little adjustment. You just got to be careful he doesn't take too much weight off. He was a couple of metres over almost with his first one, but no, well played, Tony. Good adjustment.
Yep. Perfect bowl there.
Yep, well played. Jordan will be looking for much of the same, I think. That weight was really good of his first bowl.
Yeah, just like to sit that bowl out or come in and take a little bit of the jack. He might be a bit narrow for both of those, but you'll find a nice enough
speed a touch too, I think.
I think he has. He's a match short, so he'd be a little bit disappointed as he was. You saw the facial expression. And you see a bowl at 90 degrees and the jack, there's really only a bowl between them. There's no reason to be short. Tony looks like he's short here too.
Well, Jordan's still he's got another chance here, and I don't think he'll make the same mistake again. He'll be reaching up to that.
So Jordan King's final into in number 12.
Yeah,
this means
close.
Final. He's not far away.
He's
even
close
a little
here,
slice
a
of the
little touch
jack.
of jack.
But again, leaves it in a lovely position for Chris to play. So Gary knows he needs another one on the head. Gary ideally would like to play that shot of just getting onto Tony's bowl and just putting it behind the jack.
Well, there's also a case here for Gary to play Chris's shot before Chris plays it. He may only still end up with one, but it's better maybe he plays the shot and goes with it than allowing Chris to play the shot. So I think you'll find Gary will definitely be reaching right to the head.
He's certainly got plenty of green. He starts to break into the head now, does Gary Lawson. And does he just tuck that Grantham bowl? That's what he was looking to do. But he's found a nice enough position. He's got 2 shots, but certainly doesn't change what Chris Lowe's shot will be. He won't want to be short. He'll want to be there. You sit that bowl of Granthams, you get the jack. 2 very good results. He starts to break in now. Chris Lowe. First bowl down on the 12th end. He's close, but he'll get Gary's bowl to be second shot.
Good second shot.
So this head developing very nicely. Gary with his second. It's on that similar line, but it seems to be on that high line, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not the worst spot there, though. If Chris was to get a little trail on here, he gives him another. You see he's got 2 back bowls here, one of his, one of Tony's, so it actually creates another opportunity for Gary as well, depending what Chris does with this.
Nice little trail of the jack for the Mount Eden Pier. Would be a great result.
Pivotal end here, Aaron.
Could well be.
It could be all sorts happening.
It's going to be close on weight. Close on weight, but just a little short. So I think Gary's play here, as you say, I think he needs to play Chris's shot now. He needs to be a little bit narrow. Either land Tony's bowl, land the jack. Even tucking the jack away is probably not a bad position to be in right now.
I think he'd be horribly unlucky to get himself in too much trouble. I think the weight he's using is good. You get any trail, even if he runs into Tony and sits him back, stays in the head for one, just more position.
So here's the last bowl for Lawson. Again down that forehand side, he looks like he's taken a bowl of green off. So he will be.
He might have taken a few bowls of weight off too.
He's taken the weight off as well. Be happy with that. Gary's come up quite a bit short, so
it's a great opportunity for Chris here.
Yeah.
He can either sit Tony's bowl out, if he can get off Tony and get a slice of the jack.
Jordan was just saying what I was looking at, and that's if you move that jack a foot and a half, you're in for 4. So,
and that would be huge in the context of this game.
It would be with 2/3 of the way through this final. Can he do it? Can he find this jack? Move it 1.5, 2 feet. Here it comes. He's close. He's very close. He's going to give you the shot, I would say.
Yep.
He'll get the shot itself. Brilliant bowl.
Well
He'll
played.
take the one, but he was only that foot of weight away from finding that jack and making that a nice multiple. They'll work to 10. So 10 plays 5.
Second prize, but hey, look, it's another one on the board, right? So it just pushes that lead a little bit further. Another end gone. I don't think, I mean, there's a chance for a number, but I think Chris and Jordan will be happy with the one there.
Yeah, I think the way Jordan's been leading, that it's going to be hard to find a big number in this game.
And whilst he hasn't been tight around the jack, he's had really good position for Chris on the head. So both leads have played well, though. In all honesty, Aaron, they're both giving these skips lots of opportunities to score.
Yep, great battle, as you'd expect from these two leads. Jordan King, Mount Albert, and Tony Grantham, I should say Mount Eden for Jordan and Mount Albert for Tony. And again, he's found a nice position behind the head.
Yeah,
Chris won't be displeased with that bowl. The first one down. So Tony, so he's going to stay on the forehand side coming this way, and he's going to come up a bit short. So he's a good metre and a half short there, Tony, which is...
I won't be happy with that.
Mind you, I'd say this is the first time we'd had that half length. So Matt back on the 2.
Interesting that Jordan would throw that length. He's been going that longer length and playing it well, but maybe he thought, we'll change it up.
This was the time to change it up, and with these first 2 bowls,
well played,
very well played,
justifiably so. He's 2 very good bowls there.
Gives Tony a nice little target to sit on, though. He can play with that, just the yard of weight over. He found it again here.
He's not far. Oh, he might be short again, is he?
I think he's short again, Tony. Yeah. He is. He won't be happy with that.
So tuck this in, Jordan, and the skip will be a happy man.
Yes, we were talking about it in the ladies' final with the pairs, that when you're down, especially on the board, you don't want bowls in front of the jack. I think that's what Gary's telling Tony now. You find me one right on the jack, or find me one just past the jack. Let me work to something. So Tony Grantham's last one down. What sort of runs he got on it? He's got a nice run on it, so he'll come in for the shot. But again, he's only just past the jack. When you see those 3 catches that Chris Lowe can play a little bit narrow, he can play to Tony Grantham's bowl, he can play to the jack, you bring that jack down the line.
Yeah, Chris will be looking to draw that jack back a good foot or so and put a bit of pressure on Gary.
So great positional bowls again from Jordan King to lead here, and gives Chris Lowe this opportunity now to really rack the pressure up onto Gary Lawson, as we're 2/3 of the way through this men's pairs Auckland Centre final. And Chris on his backhand.
He's watching it.
And boy, he's not far away.
He's watching it.
Not far away here. Chris Lowe.
Got the
Here
jack.
he comes. Oh, unlucky.
He gives it the double T.
Yes. Yes.
Desperately unlucky there. Well played.
And unfortunately, it's just put the jack in that awkward spot now too. With it's going to take a jam up to sort of try and get that jack away from that shot bowl as well. So
Gary will be running for cover here. I guarantee it. He'll be hunting down to get onto those bowls of Jordan's. They're obviously still a danger to him, so I can imagine he'll be wanting to sit in that bunch somewhere.
So he's down the forehand side. He's found good green. He'll draw nicely into this pack again, and he's very close. He's past the head where he wants to be, and that's probably the ideal position too. Be in the count, be behind.
Now the problem for Chris here is if he goes hunting here, he does run the risk of running through the head and potentially dropping a number. So I think he'd be just looking to draw one close.
I think it's a cut down opportunity here.
Yep, just sit something in there.
Be happy to be second shot after this bowl. And he's got a nice line for it.
Nicely here.
He is. He's drawing back into the head very well. Chris Lowe,
Yeah,
and
well
that's
played.
good enough for second shot. He'd be very happy with that,
Very good
if
bowl.
not shot. If not shot. Let's have a look. He did get a little nick in the jack. No, it is still one to the Mount Albert
That's a
pair.
very good bowl, though.
Great bowl. Be happy to just drop the one. They were down 3 prior to that bowl coming in.
So Gary, be conscious they want to score here. I mean, there's an opportunity for a number. So there's a chance he might go looking to roll that bowl of Chris's.
Yeah.
But the danger being if he gets tied onto the jack, it could go wrong for him. But they do need to score, so he might have a look. He does have another bowl to fix it, I guess, if it goes wrong.
Yeah, Tony's asking for that 2 metres of extra weight here. Be through the head. Try and draw that white bowl off the head. He's just a little bit high, I think. He is, so Chris knows what he needs to do. And that's put another bowl on the head. Make it harder for Gary to make a number. You can see the Mount Albert pair. They do have the 3rd and 4th shots there as well.
And I think Gary will definitely go look in that bowl again. So Chris will he'll be conscious of that. He'll want to put another one in there. He just won't want to set it himself up to, to lose both his bowls. So maybe if he's happy with one down at this point, beat that slightly shorter bowl of Tony's.
Yep. That's what I'd be looking for. Just the slightly forward bowl of Tony's here. Use that as your jack, so there's no opportunity for Lawson to get both these bowls off. He draws in. He's going to be close to that bowl too. No, he's going to come behind. So he looked for that back bowl of Lawson's, and he found it, so that's all right. So that's either given Lowe and King now 2nd and 3rd, or they could be 1 and 3 down. So it'll just be the
taking
one.
the one.
There you go. Take the one.
Yeah, well, they really needed to score there, Gary and Tony. So, the risk of obviously Chris had a bowl tight in on the head, so there was a risk to play to it. So probably the right option. As you said earlier, Aaron gets that scoreboard just ticking over one more time, and keeps them in the race.
Yeah, the ends are running out. We've got 5 ends to play, and it's the Mount Eden duo, Chris Lowe and Jordan King 10. Mount Albert Bowling Club's Gary Lawson, Tony Grantham looking to add the Auckland Peers title to their national title, and unfortunately,
Another one.
I was just going to say you wouldn't see it once in a blue moon. Now he's done it twice today, Tony, with the jack. So let's see what Jordan does. The last time this happened, he tried to get that really short length. Let's see what he does.
He seems a bit happier with this one.
So 10-6, we're on end 14 of 18. Ends are running out. A very good final to this point. Tony with his first bowl down, so we are on a shorter length. I've got that mat up a couple of mats, and
you can see that it just changes the line slightly to the jack. Although Tony did come back, obviously with that slightly shorter length, it just means that the changes your tuning point slightly. So
yeah,
good thing of Jordan.
Jordan's first bowl
He's picked
in
it
the
nicely.
last 6 ends have just been very good to put that pressure on. That one didn't get past the head, but he's drawn one very nice and close there. Grantham puts his second one down. He's on a much better line here, Tony. Much better line as he draws back in.
How's his weight?
Quite the weight.
Not quite. Not the worst, though.
Not the
There's
worst.
still a chance to trail that jack, so Jordan will be definitely looking over the head here, because he wouldn't want Tony to trail that jack on him, and he hasn't got any position at all. So
Jordan here just playing with that extra weight over. Anything behind will be a good spot.
yeah, well
That's
played.
exactly what he's going to play there.
Very
so
good bowl. Yeah, be arriving up to that, I would suggest, Tony. You'd look to rest on Jordan's last bowl, gets a little touch of the jack's good.
he only needed a mat and a half of extra speed on that same line, and he's there. He's found the line again. Might be just a touch over of weight this time. He is, so he'll fall behind the head. Old Tony Grantham. So Jordan King at this stage, just
I
starting
don't know
to.
if Jordan will want another bowl right on the head. I wouldn't mind betting he possibly just looks behind.
I think he'd be quite happy to play that same bowl that he played with his second, but
Just
with
turn
that,
it around
yeah,
behind the jack a
just
little bit more. Yeah.
touch it around a little bit.
If he beats one of those two back bowls of Tony's, I think he'll be happy. I mean, he's got good position as it sits.
Like even coming back to this Grantham Bacchus
Yeah, well,
bowl's not
that's
a
a good
bad
bowl.
spot.
That's a very good bowl.
If Gary Lawson did decide to come down on his backhand and turn that king bowl over, the jack is only going to come back to Grantham's bowl here at 7 o'clock. But still the draw's on, isn't it, on the forehand to try and just tuck this jack away. If he tucks it around the corner, there's a potential for 2.
Well, he can actually draw it through the gap for 3. To be fair, he's there's every chance there. It's a sort of shot, Gary is very capable of playing.
Yeah. He's playing with a bit of weight up. So
just a bit wide. He needs a tight line down there with that weight, I think, just to...
Yes, and I bowl the Taylor SRs as well, and when you put that little bit of extra weight on them, especially on the carpets, I find they do just hold their line that little bit extra time, and it's one of the hardest things I've found in bowls thus far is to get it in your mind that you've just got to come in that extra couple of bowls. The hardest thing, because trusting your bowls half the battle sometimes.
Yep.
So Chris Lowe looks down on the head. He's up on the head, so up on the scoreboard.
I think he'd be probably looking to beat that bowl of Tony's. So if he can just get around the outside edge of Tony's bowl, I think. Just split those two bowls, looking for that. Gary's looking for the trail, obviously, so...
He'd love that 5 o'clock position, wouldn't he?
Yep, absolutely.
But he's just not going to have the weight to get there. He had the right line. He probably a metre or 2 more weights. So let's see what Gary does with his second. Does he bring it in those couple of bowls? Looks a little bit narrower this time. Any connection's probably good connection.
He's not far away here. He's not far away at all here.
Is he jack or bowl? Both? Oh, he's run. Well, he's definitely the shot.
Yep.
It's either 1 or 2.
He's got 1, and he's isolated them now to 1 bowl on the head. So he's created an opportunity for himself here.
Yeah, to see what Jordan says. I think he says he's 2 down, so critical end for Chris Lowe now to get another one in there. Still got another one to fire after this one. He's coming down his backhand side. Can he break it into the head?
He's got the speed. He might be short, I think.
Yeah, I think he's short again here. He is. So about a mat and a half short. So Grantham and Lawson holding 2.
And what are we seeing, Gary? He'd be coming down his backhand, looking to either
get
under Tony's bowl through to Jordan's bowl.
I think he'd like to come through. I think he'd like to come through Tony's bowl. Just draw to Tony's bowl. Get Tony's bowl behind the head.
Yeah, I think that bowl of Tony's is counting. So, I mean, if he could leave it there, draw between the bowl and the jack, get to Jordan's bowl, it's a pretty good position, I think.
Yeah, well,
I don't think there's a chance of a big number at the back for Chris and Jordan. They might get a couple, but he'd have to get it to the right spot.
Have to be a bomb of a bowl for the last one for them to...
Absolutely.
I think it's a...
Might be a bit short here, Gary.
Well, the target's there for a kill if he wants to try for the kill, but at this stage of the game, do you want that?
The problem is he goes for the kill. If he gets the wrong angle on Gary's bowl, chips himself out of the head, he's possibly 3 or 4 down.
So I think Jordan is asking for the weight. Play it with the weight. There's always danger in these shots, especially when I play them.
Well, he's possibly playing it on the safer hand, though, I think.
So here we go. Full out drive, and he's very close. He's very lovely bowl, and you get one out of it too, will he? Does he stay up? Does he stay and bounce? No, he doesn't. Let's see what happens here. Where's that jack? Where's that jack? We need the jack. Lawson, he's still got one to play, I believe, has he?
Yes, he has.
Gary's still got one to play, so Chris Lowe's bowl went out. There's the jack, so it's about half a foot away from the boundary peg. So there's a good amount of room.
It looked like Chris's bowl possibly he didn't.
No, I'm pretty sure I saw
Go
Jordan
out.
pick it out of
Jordan
the...
did lift it up, but
No, he's taken it out and put it on the bank. So, what's Gary saying here? So, so
I think
Jordan's bowl is definitely out of bounds because his two are short and he's got one on the bank. So, not too sure what Gary's...
No, I think Chris is questioning whether his bowl was out of bounds or not. I know Jordan picked it up, but...
Oh,
yeah,
so
I
he's
think
picked it out of the ditch.
And it was still live.
It was still live.
Because it touched the jack on the way through.
Here's the controversy. Here's the controversy for the final for 2024.
Umpires said to replace it into the ditch where they think it was, but Tony's not looking happy.
I don't think Tony will be happy. I definitely know Gary won't be happy. Let's get a camera on Gary. He will be none too impressed here. Now there's Gary. He's got the double teapot going. That'll be the second call behind him. So what do they do? What do they do?
I think if they're both still alive, it would...
Well, it was definitely the shot,
wouldn't it?
It was definitely the shot. So
which will be one.
Let's see what they do.
Yep, so it's one to Chris and Jordan.
It is. So, a bit of controversy here in the 14th end. We'll mark that down. We'll put a little asterisk next to that because...
it could be a turning point.
Could be the turning point. 5 between them, 4 to play. And we go back to a long end again. So mixing up the ends is Jordan, which is a good thing. Try and get Tony Grantham off his normal style. And boy, the way they've been going. Lawson and Grantham, they've only scored 5 of the 14 ends.
Now, it'll be interesting, that last end there, and how that will play on the minds of the players in various ways. Obviously, Chris and Jordan, they, I guess, potentially dodged a bullet there. But, will it play on the mind of Gary and Tony? I mean, they've got years of experience, but nevertheless, it's something that hasn't fallen their way. So
it's just something to fester, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Just in the background. But this bowl of Tony's will help Gary's mood. Certainly will. Toucher, thank you very much. I'll forget about that last end right now.
And it's probably the best thing to do. Just it's gone, right? Let's get on with it.
Yeah. You can't get it back. It'll be interesting, the thoughts into Jordan taking that bowl out of the ditch. Maybe, just maybe, it was the roll-up flag that got him too, because...
I just wonder if he thought maybe he didn't get
bowl
the jack.
From Jordan.
Yeah, well played, Jordan. Very
Lovely.
good bowl. That's a really good bowl.
Great response.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right there too. Maybe he thought he didn't get the jack, a touch on the jack, so...
Perhaps.
Yes, it's... Anyway, they've sorted it out between them. Lucky we didn't have to take them out with sumo suits and that to sort it out with some boxing gloves, but here's Grantham's second bowl.
Actually, Jordan got a very good result there. Like, he played a great shot, but the result, it sat really, really nice for him now. If he can sneak around those bowls, put him, good back bowl anywhere around the 2 metre mark, that would be a really good position on this end.
Yeah, and Tony's just put in a nice positional bowl there too. So Jordan would want to be around his front bowl.
You want to clear that. You want to miss the jack if he can.
He will want to miss the jack, and he does.
That's good.
So that's not a bad spot, because at this stage I think Lawson's going to be forced onto his forehand. If Tony can just play a similar bowl to his last and put it in that position where we just saw with Chris Lowe's, with Jordan King's bowl down, that there's a nice draw to a couple of catches. So if he can put this one into a catching position again, which he's not far away. Oh, probably didn't need that edge of his front bowl. And he got a bit of the back bowl, which has kept his bowl on the green, and the backest bowl there too for the Lawson-Grantham combination. So the head sets up quite nicely for the skips again.
I guess for Chris and Jordan, they're going to be looking at, Tony and Gary need a score here, so they're going to be looking at where we need a cover, and
I think
Gary hasn't got an easy shot on no matter what he plays, to be fair. So I think Chris will be just, if he can match maybe the bowl behind the jack of Tony's, I think on either hand that would be a pretty good spot to finish.
I think the key is to be behind the head, no shoulders. Don't give Gary anything to work off.
I mean, the head's tough to get into at the minute, so
So here's Chris's first bowl down. He'll break back into the head nicely. Let's see if he can get just behind the head. He's going to
Another
be
couple of rolls would be good.
right level. So it does give Gary even a nice little shoulder there. In fact, Gary's going to come down his backhand side. So Lawson on the backhand with a little bit of weight.
He's close here. He's
He
close
is
to the
very
bowl
close.
clean. He's very close.
He's going to move the bowl. Jack moves. Gary will be shot. So
now it gives Chris an opportunity to play a similar shot, though. If he can rest that bowler Gary's out of the head, he'll sit there holding 3.
and he only needs to play with that metre of weight over, so there's not a lot of danger in it for a player of Chris Lowe's class. So just bring that bowl of Gary's through, land on
Even if he just is just under Gary's bowl and gets a little touch of the jack, it's good enough for 1 or 2.
There's a couple of results that could happen here for Chris. He's a bit narrow, I think. He's gone a little bit too narrow. He has.
I think the weight's good for the shot, though.
It is very good weight. That's, as you can see, just that metre pass. So that'll push that Lawson bowl 2 or 3 bowls through the head, which it needs to be. So Gary, can he put another one in there? Make it even harder for Chris Lowe's last bowl into end number 15 of this final, and Gary's not far away.
Going to feed off Tony's bowl, is he?
A little slide
a
off
touch
Tony.
off there,
Does. Oh, he's through the head though.
Yeah, well, chance is still there. And I think if you're Chris, you take this. You got 3 ends to play after this. You're 5 up. You've got a chance of a 3 here. You go a long way towards winning the game, right?
And there's not a lot of danger in it either.
No, I mean, worst case, you get the jack wrong. You probably still only go 1 down. I think you might find Chris maybe just a touch more positive here at that bowl.
So
Just a little bit more purpose on this one, I think.
So he found a good line here too. Starts to break back now. Can he find that bowl of Lawson's? He's not far away. He's just slides by.
Great effort once again.
Brilliant effort. Weight was perfect again for it. So Gary just needs to draw straight to his bowl to get a couple to bring them right back in this final. If he can draw the second, that'll have them 3 behind with 3 to play.
The ebbs and flows of the game, Aaron. Both teams having opportunities, and we wouldn't expect anything less really from these 4 guys.
Correct. You love a gripping final, and that's what we're getting here. Crowd are saying, "Come on, Gary." Everybody around the nation tuned in on the broadcast saying, "Come on, Gary, get it close."
Yeah, he's not far away. I don't
this
think
is a really close
he's
final.
pretty close here.
I think he's drawn it. He might have drawn the shot
He's
itself.
pretty close here. Yeah, well played.
Might be a bowl out.
Maybe
Half a bowl
1.
out. It was just
only
a
1. Yeah, looked good
so
all the way,
good.
didn't it?
Looked so good all the way. So just a 1 to 7. 3 ends to play. 4 shots between them. And again, it looks like Tony's happy to go back to this 2 metre mat, and we'll see if he wants to play it. Well, the weight of the jack, it looks like he wants to play 2 to 2 again. A great final we've had here today. The ladies didn't let us down. In fact, he's about
thrown a
2/3
shorter
of the
jack
way.
this time. So yeah, Tony now looking at changing something up. So
The ladies' final was very good earlier today. The men's aren't letting us down with 3 ends to go. 4 shots between 2 quality sides here. Tony Grantham, Gary Lawson, of course, our national peers champions. Former peers champions in Chris Lowe and Jordan King. They currently have the ascendancy. Jordan with his first bowl down. He's been playing these short ends quite nicely, Jordan.
and he's good again.
He's good again, all right.
Yeah,
I think
well
he's
played
got
here,
the
Jordan.
jack. He's got the jack.
It's a very good
I'll
bowl.
be happy with a touch or 2.
And again, that first bowl effectiveness. We talked about the same as in the ladies' final. That
First
again,
bowl pressure,
He's done that really well in this game.
especially at the back end of these finals. The more that you can find that first bowl pressure, the better off it's going to be. And there's that pressure.
Yep.
Tony Grantham short. Gary won't be happy with that. Gary would have wanted one behind the head in that situation. You see, Tony's not happy.
No, a little shake of the head, but
he knows too.
I think we'll be very surprised if we see a third short one.
So Jordan just a touch wide here. Wouldn't
No,
want to tap
he's
that
fine
bowl
there.
of
That's
Tony's
very
in.
good. Yeah,
I'll
well
be
played.
happy with that.
Yep.
So you can't see Tony Grantham being short with his third one. He'll try and draw the outright shot. But have I put the commentator's curse on? I have. It's shorter than his second one.
Well, that's surprising. So great chance here for Jordan.
Yep. To really set it up nicely for Chris. There's no bowls behind the head
If
for the
Jordan
Lawson.
puts one right on top of the jack here, I think Lowy will be very, very happy.
And he's on target for it too. Oh no, it's
He
just
might
going to
have dropped
break.
his weight as
He's
well.
dropped his weight too. So as soon as that
Great
weight drops
chance
off
here.
the bowl, look at how it just shoots across. So still set up nicely for Low and King.
I guess if Gary can miss the edge of that jack and draw full onto Jordan's bowl, and he can get 3 or 4 rolls out of it, it may well bring those bowls of Tony's into play.
Yep.
So whilst Tony sort of hasn't quite reached the head, I mean his bowls are still in play though, so again the experience, I guess he's missed, but he's he's still in with a chance.
Yeah, in the vicinity. And Gary, he's a little bit narrow here too. He's going to get into those 2 bowls of Grantham's, and
yeah, that's handy though. That's handy.
yeah, well, it still makes that shot on. So Chris needs another bowl on the head. Ideally
on the front of the jack.
Yes, ideally he'd actually like to move the jack 2 or 3 inches, just 2 or 3 inches, because that takes that bowl out of play to bring those 3 front ones in.
Well,
he's
you're a
taken
bit
plenty
high
of
there,
green.
I think. Got a bit of a high line.
Mind you, his bowls do break in quite strongly late, and well, it's probably good enough to be third shot sitting out there. So let's see what Gary does with his second bowl down. Can he
I
just
think Gary's
draw this
weight was good
bowl
with his first
through?
one. He just needs to alter that
He's
line.
happy with
tight.
oh,
He's tight again on
but
it.
2-3 rolls out of his front one, he'd be happy. Ooh, punches it through the head.
He's still leaving himself chances though, so
Yeah.
Chris really has to get a bowl in there, because at the moment they've got one bowl isolated on the head, and if that goes, there's a number.
All right, so Chris Lowe, all
Here
the
it
pressure on
comes.
him. Second to last bowl for
Yeah,
Chris.
he's on
He
a good
will have
line
the
here, I
last
think.
bowl.
I think Chris is on a very good line here.
He's under his first bowl, which is good. He's got the
Yeah,
weight
he's
this
good here.
time. He's in.
Very well
Has
played.
he found the jack? Front
Yep.
toucher would be good.
Good bowl.
Although
Yeah.
he's given
Oh.
Gary a good look at this.
That's a good one, 2,
oh,
3,
Gary.
4. There's probably 4 seconds.
I'll
If he
guarantee
gets both
you,
of those 2 bowls,
I guarantee you that Lawson will not be short. And with the weight that Lawson plays, that he's been playing for many, many years, there's a chance that he can come straight down that line and all 3
Absolutely.
of those bowls
yep,
go.
well, they're all on the line. So if he gets the white one, he'll probably get the other 2.
Yep.
Depends where his bowl goes,
Because
but
there's enough of an angle on Jordan's bowl that's currently the second shot to just ping that bowl out the back out. So let's see. And he's very close.
He's
Are we about to
close.
see a Lawson
No, he's
special?
the jack, is he?
Oh, very unlucky.
He needed the bowl clean. I
Might
feel.
still be 2 down here too, so it'll be
Still another bowl to play
yeah,
here
1
for
to
Chris.
bowl for Chris. So well, if he can convert this, maybe he's only the one up.
To be fair, Chris draws another shot here. Extends the lead out to. If you can get a 2, extend the lead out to 6 with 2 to play.
Yep, always hard when you've only got 6 bowls to play with. It means you're after big numbers on 2 ends.
I'll tell you what, he gets a touch of the jack and makes it 3.
Yes, well, sort of a no pressure bowl as such.
Yeah,
Just
but these
get
are
it
the
close.
bonus bowls. You've got to make
Yep.
these count.
And these are generally the best in the business when it comes to bowls to make them count. In fact, if he sat Gary's bowl down, that would definitely give them 3, but he's not going to be there. So just the one. Just the one. So 12 plays 7. There's 5 between them. 2 ends to play. Well, Gary was only half a bowl away from having a very good
If he
bowl
got
there.
that white clean, I think he
Yep.
was right on the money.
I thought we were going to see another great pressure moment from Gary
I think-
Lawson.
Jordan go back to that longer end, I think. Yep.
You might just look for that mid to long.
Yep.
And you find the sort of a 3/4 end here. And if he can put that first bowl on the jack, put all the pressure back onto Tony Grantham, that's what he'd be looking for. He'd just love to have one. A back toucher right now would be the ideal situation for Jordan King, and he's not far away.
That first bowl affecting this again.
Yep. Great first bowl.
Well played. Couldn't really get a much better spot, could you?
Good round of applause from the crowd there too. They know how important that bowl was. So all the pressure on this Mount Albert pier. Tony Grantham's first bowl, he looks a touch narrow. He has come back to his backhand side coming this way. He was trying the forehand for a bit, but
well, I guess the beauty for Chris and Jordan here is one shot on this end would
end the game.
Leave Grantham and
to get a 6 to
leave Grantham and Lawson chasing a maximum on the final end. So it's it has to be Grantham and Lawson scoring this end.
So Jordan King forced onto the backhand here with that bowl of Grantham's, and boy, he's not far away either. He's put it
handy.
Half a bowl low, but it's probably not a bad spot. As Grantham, he wants to be on this jack or past the jack. Gary Lawson needing a big number. He doesn't want to bowl short here. He's not far away, Tony. You get a slide in off that bowl. But still leaves the little trail of the jack open, or the sit on the bowl. Jordan King, his last bowl for N17. He's been leading brilliantly through this final. He's put all the pressure on Tony Grantham. In fact, I'd have to say he's probably had the measure of Tony through the final.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's, especially, those first couple of bowls on, 90% of the ends have been very, very effective.
It's not often we can say that against an opponent with Tony Grantham, but let's give Jordan King his dues. I think he has bowled very well off the front. And Tony again, narrow, and still not past the head. So very hard to build numbers when you're not past the head. I don't think Gary will be too happy, and I tell you what, Chris Lowe would just love to find a little bit of this jack anyway. Move that jack a little bit back.
I think if you're Chris, you're just trying to draw the jack, aren't you?
Yep.
Just
draw the jack, draw the shot.
Stop him moving it.
Yep.
He just wants to take that shot away from Lawson.
Be the first to the jack, and you're only going to drop a 1 or a 2 because there's no back play for the Lawson Grantham team at this stage. So any movement on the jack right now.
And they're looking for lateral movement, which is, not the easiest to get, is it? So, yeah, I think Chris will be...
so there's no need to be short.
He'll be wanting to win the race to the jack.
And he's on his forehand side. Lefty of Chris Lowe.
And he'll get some turn out of this as well. So
not far away. He'll draw back nicely to the centre line here. He's close to the jack.
Yeah,
Does he
well
get
played.
movement? No, he'll be the
that's
shot
good.
though.
So
And
now, what it does though, it does allow an opportunity on the other hand now for Gary. Gary can come down his forehand side. He does have a chance of those 2 bowls.
Yep.
I don't know whether he plays it now or he might wait, but I'd say he's probably got to play it because you don't want to allow Chris that opportunity to move the jack on him.
He's coming down his backhand side. And he's playing with the weight. So he's always going to get Tony. He's got Tony out. So, look of frustration from Grantham.
Oh, if Chris tucks that jack away now, I think big trouble.
I think it's big trouble already. No bowls behind the head for the Mount Albert team. 2 bowls have left the head as well now. They're up on the bank. So a real big number's out of the question. A 1 or 2 is probably the best that Gary can find here, and how does he find that after Chris bowls this next bowl down? We'll soon find out.
I know you don't want to build a target and give Gary anything to hit, but you're almost really tempted to draw that jack and tuck it away and really put the pressure on, really make him play something good.
Yeah, you just want to be that half a metre through. Bring that jack through.
Make him play the shot.
Yeah, take Tony's bowls out of the proceedings. He's going to try and put one on the centre line here. And that's not a bad bowl.
It's pretty good.
That's
and
going
it
to
fell
make
the right way too. I think Gary's chance, he's got to go that again.
I think he's trying for a little slice of the jack for a kill would be a great result. Well, he'll be happy with that. He's got those 2 back bowls out. He would have been lovely with that for his first bowl to put the pressure on Chris. But I think Chris, just looking at the pictures there, I think Chris is still holding the shot. So he might well be holding second as well. It's very tight. So
I think Gary's he's got to be hunting the kill. I think he's looking for a replay.
If I was Chris, I think I'd just stay
well
away.
Yep.
Stay well away. Don't put another target in there.
Keep away from it.
I feel that bowl of Jordan King's at 3 o'clock is the potential second, if not third shot. So he's not going to be in the count with that bowl, Chris, but it's not a bad bowl. If Lawson takes out the shot bowl, he's only going to be 1 up or he's 1 down. Now he's going to get...
Looking, if they've got second and maybe...
No, I think they've only got second.
Got third.
So he's only got second. That's been confirmed by Tony Grantham there.
If he wants to sit and stay for 2, gives you a glimmer of hope, I guess. But I think he'll be looking for the kill. I really do. I think he'll be going this.
And he is. So he's looking for the kill. He's got the shot bowl. Oh, unlucky.
Jack in the ditch.
Unlucky. Jack is in the ditch. Don't take the bowl out of the ditch, Jordan, this time. Oh, no, well, it's well out of bounds anyway. It looks like...
That's it. Shake hands time.
Shake hands time, it is.
Yep.
We have our champions for 2024 for the men's pairs, Auckland Centre final. And it is Chris Lowe and Jordan King from Mount Eden in a great game. And, well, they must have got 2 in that in there to see it 17, make it 14-5, beating out Gary Lawson and Tony Grantham in a great final.
And I think, great final. And as we expected, it was tight all the way. But Jordan up front was solid. He just didn't really give an inch. First couple of ends, I guess, just, got him into the game. But once he found his line and his length, I think he had the measure of Tony, which is not easy to do.
It's not often in a game of pairs to 18 ends. I know we've only played 17 that Gary and Tony would only get 6 of 17 ends in a game of pairs. So
absolutely.
That shows you the pressure that Jordan had put them on throughout the telecast here, and they've been deserved winners of the Auckland Pairs Men's Centre title for 2024. So we trust you've enjoyed the coverage here. Certainly great to have Steve Fisher alongside, taking us through the men's pairs final. You can go home and celebrate with the daughter tonight. Brilliant stuff.
Yep,
great
thanks,
bowling
Aaron.
from Nicole today, and great to see her have a centre title as well. On behalf of the crew that have brought you the pictures on the live screen, the live stream today, Aaron White bidding you all a very good afternoon, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the action coming in with the men's triples and women's singles.